Activation code required. Access granted. Warning. Evacuation sequence activated.
We're back. Welcome to the bunker.
And good evening. Welcome to the S-4 Bunker, coming to you live from the Cascade Mountains here in Concrete, Washington. Oh, good God. Migraines really suck.
Yes,
so
they
do
do.
sinuses with cottonwoods.
If your grains are having issues,
Yeah,
you
Drink
need
some
to
rye?
water them more.
I could drink some rye grain. That might help it. You got any rye grain?
There is a reason all the rum is gone.
Huh?
You need to drink rum.
Oh, rum and coffee. I had a Bailey's and coffee the other night. That was fucking actually kind of refreshing.
I fucking hate Bailey's.
What?
Friend,
I can't stand Bailey's.
For
I
real?
don't like
Hey, mate.
alcoholic coffee. My parents tried to introduce me to coffee-flavored tequila, and
Coffee flavored coffee.
Oh,
I
that was
wanted to
fucking
die.
horrible.
Okay.
That shit was fucking
That's
horrible.
a whole
Never
different
again.
fucking level of crazy. Coffee flavored tequila? Fuck no.
No, it was Patron too, but it had like
Mm.
coffee grounds in the bottom. Oh my God, it was terrible.
So it was Turkish tequila.
Yeah, so I was not only drinking this nasty shit, I was eating it too.
Yeah, it was
Mom and
Turkish.
Mom and Dad used to have a tradition. Well, they still do, but they take the Lindt Easter bunnies, the ones that are hollow, and they get the small ones, and they break off the head Easter morning, and they take a shot out of it.
Oh, that's okay.
Friend,
Chocolate tequila.
Ugh.
Yeah,
No,
friend.
it was so bad.
Yeah, the coffee one was freaking horrible. My mom has introduced me to some bad alcohol in. our
I'm just
lifetime.
saying, when it melts the
Like-
bunny, you know there's something wrong.
For a while, she was drinking For a while, she was drinking chocolate wine, and
That was Everclear, buddy.
Ugh, God.
well, I did feel a little energized. Friend.
Everclear, buddy. Yeah.
But
It's stronger than tequila, I think.
yes,
Yes,
depends on
it
which
is.
bottle you buy.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. So I can see Everclear eating through the bunny. Tequila, not so much.
there's this special wine that his uncle makes that would definitely eat through that.
Special wine.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a wine that's completely clear?
I have. It's called ice wine.
Oh, God.
Friend, and when you flip it over, no bubbles.
I don't remember. I remember
Okay,
it was
It's
clear.
pure.
So if it can,
If
I'll just
No,
tell you this much:
well, in
if a
Germany-
Canadian farmer says, "Do you want to try some of my special wine?" you always say, "Fuck no." Okay.
Well, in Germany, they have at Christmas time what's called ice wine, and it's stronger than normal wine. It's like the end of the barrels.
Yeah.
Depends
From
on how
the-
it's.
Well, it's from the end of all the barrels.
So it's just like a smorgasbord of all
Oh my
different
God!
wines
It's
mixed
no, it's
together.
fucking sweet
Ice,
though.
ice
It's really
wine.
sweet.
Ice wine in the United States is where the grapes are partially frozen, from what I understand.
Man, that okay. You know what? United States and Germany completely different when it comes to
Yeah.
wines.
Totally.
Well, liquor
Europe
in
is
general.
completely different.
Well,
when
in
you
the
can
jail
drink
that I
one
worked in,
German
they
beer
made
is
some
the equivalent of
toilet
a
wine
six-pack
that's
of
pretty
American
good.
beer. Yeah, there you go.
Gee.
I came back from 3 years in Germany and could out drink fucking anybody, except for Cole, because he can drink all night long.
Yeah.
Why I don't
Yeah, I
drink
can
anymore.
too, actually.
I cannot. That's why I do not anymore. It's bad juju.
Anyway, for any new listeners, make sure you go to ReaperApparelCo.com.
Oh my gosh.
What?
That was.
I think you might need a cheat sheet for that one.
Huh?
That is www.reaperapparelco.com.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, go to our sponsor, Reaper Apparel Co., and try out our coupon code. Get yourself 10% off at the door for on any order that you do by just typing in S-4 Bunker.
Yep.
S-4.
No dash,
Bunker.
right? Just S4.
Yeah,
No
just S4.
dash.
There you go.
Just S4.
Couldn't afford the dash, you know? That's why we need the sponsor.
But yeah, they have,
Right.
I mean, it's not just clothes. It's bumper stickers, mug. I mean, it's a full scale store pretty much.
Yeah.
So
Right.
make sure you check them out. Our one and only so far sponsor besides Red Rover Tax Services. So you need your taxes done, make sure you go to redrovertaxservices.com. And they do have, I mean, they do taxes in Pennsylvania. They have a portal where it doesn't really matter where you are in the United States. You go to the portal, you can submit your information, or give them a call, and they can walk you through it.
Yeah. Unlike some other companies out there, they're not playing with blocks all day.
No, not at all, or Facebook.
There you go.
And they are open year-round, actually. They aren't a fly-by-night company that closes their doors and disappears on you when the IRS sends you a letter. They're actually around all year round.
Okay.
What?
I took off and embezzled the money once. Calm down.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
Whoa.
It's not my fault. There was just a lot of money.
Did Joe disappear again?
Yeah, he's out. What the hell?
Anyway, tonight we are talking about Egypt. And was it Egyptians that made the pyramids? Did aliens make the pyramids? I'm not saying it's aliens, but it might be aliens. Yeah.
No.
No?
No.
You don't think aliens did it?
No, I don't.
So I'm going to interject once in a while, but I'm probably not going to be talking a whole lot.
So,
I'll be here, but yeah. If I got something to say, but my head's fucking hurting.
Joe didn't answer. Answer your phone, Joe.
Well, I'm watching a police unit in front of the theater people's, or in their driveway. So, yeah. So, fun and excitement.
Well, so bad?
See if we can keep Joe on. Hang on a second, guys.
Yeah.
Let's
So,
see if
You
I
got
can
you got cops
do
at your
some
house?
Mojo.
Rick?
Yes, we have a police unit, and I could tell it's one of the deputy guys from around
Yeah,
here. 'Cause
it's only sheriff.
Yeah.
We only have sheriff.
yeah, it's not an ambulance, so yeah, they just pulled up. They got the red and blues flashing.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what's going on over there, but
Oh, I can give you some ideas, but I won't. Right.
Well, if you get a knock on your door. No.
no. Well, maybe they're looking for me.
You got some issues on
Unlikely.
your road.
Texas isn't that ambitious. So
Okay.
So back on topic.
When it comes to Egyptian pyramids, the first one was built around 2780 BC. The reason we know that is due to carbon dating.
Oh, I love the laugh. I want to hear Joe on this one. Why are you laughing?
See, that's like, Joe, I know you don't believe that they built them. The thing you never give us is why.
Prove it.
Like, what proof do you have that they were there before?
Well, there's thousands of pyramids all over Egypt. And yes, the Egyptians built most of them. But as far as I'm concerned, the Great Pyramids, no. The Egyptians didn't build those. There's not a single bit of Egyptian writing inside of them. And the Sphinx, I think, is even older. I'm guessing anywhere between 10,000 years ago, maybe. And the Egyptian culture started about 3,000 BC. So I think the Egyptians just kind of came along and they go, wow, look at these big triangles.
So I
Which is really cool. Let's just hang out, let's hang out here by the river.
I can agree with you on the Sphinx part. Because of the fact that the Sphinx head was different, and I think the Egyptians came along and changed the head to...
Oh, yeah.
Their god.
No, they actually said that.
Yeah,
they guaranteed
said
that now.
Okay.
The head has been changed.
Yep. So I do agree with you on the Sphinx part. Where's your proof? Why do you think? Who do you think built the Giza and the other Great Pyramids, and not the Egyptians? Which guy?
Well, I'm not saying I know who. Nobody knows who.
Okay.
Whoever did it, they were gone by the time the Egyptians showed up.
So do you think it was ancient Syrian?
Every single building that the Egyptians built, they graffitied every corner, every ceiling, every wall, every pillar in the place. They wrote their names all over everything, told the stories, and there's not a single scratch mark inside the rooms inside the pyramid, the Great Pyramid, the 3 Great Pyramids.
Right.
All the rest of them, they probably built all of those.
Now, what I will say is... Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
I do 100% believe that the Red Pyramid, that the, what they call the tilted pyramid or the sliding pyramid, was built by Egyptians.
Which one?
That it was built by the pharaohs. I 100% believe that. Okay. Okay, so the Red Pyramid would be like the first pyramid of Khufu. Okay. And it's a step pyramid. Okay. It's like the original step pyramid there. And then they got the tilted pyramid or the off-center pyramid. It's called all different kinds of stuff. Where it started a gradual increase, and then it went to way more of an increase at the top because of destabilization. So it ends up actually tilting in on itself and going at a different degree and different angle towards the top than the bottom half of it.
They start building it too steep.
Yes.
See, I agree that 99% of the pyramids in Egypt were built by the Egyptians. You know, they looked at it and said, hey, let's try that. And the earliest and the oldest ones, like you said, they messed up. They got the wrong angles. They used the wrong size bricks. But none of the other pyramids have those size blocks, those perfect dimensions, no writing on them or in them. I think they were just trying to emulate or to copy whatever was already there. And they worked at it, and they worked at it. They were great at building temples and stuff, but the pyramids, I just don't believe they did it.
Do you think it's possible the Syrians moved in and built them before the pyramids, before the Egyptians got there?
Somebody did. It could have been the Atlanteans. It could have been anyone.
So all history has shown the Syrians. The Syrians were the first ancient civilization of mankind. They haven't been. No, the Syrians are older than the Babylonians.
The Sumerians?
Okay, yep. I got one older than that. The island of Malta.
Okay.
They've dated those structures, those megalithic structures, as the oldest on the planet. Up there with Göbekli Tepe.
Right.
Way thousands and thousands of years older than the Egyptians or the Assyrians. And they were building these stone monuments. Nobody really knows who they were. They just know that the stuff that was left over. They see the pyramids. They've carbon dated those from things they found in them. And they're twice as old as anything in Egypt or the Babylonians.
So
contrary
them too.
Contrary to popular belief, and popular belief is actually fucking stupidly based on the movie The Mummy with Brendan Fraser.
Right.
No one in Egypt decorated any of their tombs with writing on the inside or outside until 2000 BC. So for the first 700 years, no one
pharaoh?
did.
Which pharaoh
started? Or which ones didn't?
Which one started the writing?
He was a reptilian.
Now, see, what...
Where'd it go?
No, the ones that didn't write were reptilians. There we go.
Ah, fuck.
And have to
Hold on
write
a second.
Okay, so, you know, the thing that a lot of people don't know about the Great Pyramid as well
I need help. They changed Google.
is that it's it's actually
Sorry.
an octagonal pyramid. So it actually has
Correct.
8 sides. It's not just a
Exactly.
4-sided pyramid.
It's precision.
It
It's
is-
beautiful. It's designed. It's engineered. It's like the oldest ones there, and they're the best ones built.
Right, and the
How come
engineering on it is
civilization
ridiculous.
Would engineer the greatest thing on the planet, and then everything for thousands of years after that looked like a bunch of kindergartners did, comparatively. You know, somebody else
No,
built them.
absolutely. And, you know, okay, so we'll go back and forth on this sometimes, me and Cole.
Well, it's just like Tepe.
Well, it's just like any of the other
last week
places.
we talked about Tepe.
Yeah.
That
We go
had
back
like
like to
laser
and-
precision on their structures. And if they were older than the ancient Sumerians, who was around back then?
Well, you know, they're continuously finding older and older civilizations. Now, see, the other thing that people don't seem to understand, like, entirely about carbon dating something,
Right.
okay, is that your carbon dating can be way off. If something has had a, let's say, a nuclear explosion near it, okay, if it gets enough radiation in it, it can throw your carbon dating off by thousands of years. Okay, so
Well, we know for a fact. I was just going to say we know for a fact that part of the I'm a kind of a historical naval kind of nut, and a lot of the shipwrecks from World War II are being pillaged because the atomic explosions that were done back in the 50s and 60s. All new metal has trace. It's got radiation.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
You can't get that during the war, and that metal is considered very valuable. So, yeah, I mean,
So-
the carbon dating could be off completely by, I would
well,
guess.
okay.
but-
So what they freaked out about it was that there was a group of scientists. I can't remember exactly where. I remember hearing about this and studying a little bit about it, but that did do carbon dating, and that was their big thing, was carbon dating. And they came across this piece of wood that they carbon dated to be 3,000 years from now that it was created. Because the level of exposure from radiation in it threw the carbon dating off by that much that it won't exist for another 3,000 years. Based on
Okay,
the
two
regular
questions.
carbon dates.
Where did they find this piece of wood? Was it
Well,
a
it was-
nuclear test site?
It was over by
Or something?
Chernobyl. Yes.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah,
Now, you
so-
got to remember, the carbon dating, they actually measure the rate of radioactive decay. So if
Exactly.
there's extra radiation, that makes it younger.
Right, exactly. And that's what I'm saying is that carbon
Or
dating
not
is not an
existing,
exact science. And
it's
even
not.
when they do it, they're like, it's sometime between this era and this era. It's not like pinpoint to the day, okay, it was the 15th of July in 2000 BC. You know?
Oh, and Rick, stay inside and lock your door. I'll leave it at that.
So, I mean, when you got all of these different factors that are involved in this, and not only that, but you can't carbon date a stone. You can carbon date the biological
Organic
materials. There we go. Okay? So they're basing this off of organic materials that they found in the same layer as the stone. But it doesn't mean that those organic materials weren't put there thousands of years after the original stonework was laid. So, I mean, if you want to look at it scientifically, we have no idea how old any of these structures actually are,
Well,
because we can't
if they
date
find
rock.
a piece of wood near some structure, they're not going to say that's the same age, so this must be that. No, they're finding, if you used a wooden beam to support something during the building, then they carbon date that, then it's pretty accurate. They're going to be close.
Right. But when they
It's not like
carbon...
some guy broke into a pyramid 5,000 years after it was built and left his walking stick there, and they dated the walking stick.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, is that some of these historic sites are dated based off of, like, baskets that were found next to it that were weaved material. Okay?
Right.
Well, that doesn't mean that the structure wasn't there and they weren't using it thousands of years later, and that's where the weaved material came from. I could go
Maybe
to...
the Weaver material people found the structure and buried someone there.
Right, and that's what I said. I
left
could
their
go
basket.
to visit Göbekli Tepe, and I could, I don't know, drop something there. And then thousands of years from now, after
Vandal.
it gets recovered again, they find that, and they'd carbon date it to 2024. It is not anywhere near an exact science.
Nikki, the first one to decorate the burial chamber, antechamber, and entrance corridor of the pyramids was Eunice of the 5th dynasty.
Eunice.
And Rick, check your messages.
Eunice.
Not like his brother Anus.
No, I was just
Oh my
thinking.
God.
Was
He only decorated the back entrance.
Mama No, I was just going to ask if Mama was unhappy with Eunice because I wasn't on the TV show. So.
He was the first to have religious texts known today as pyramid texts inscribed in the burial chamber, antechamber, part of the entrance corridor of his pyramid. Most of the things that were decorated were their outer temples around the pyramids, and hardly any of them survived because of the constant wars that went on around them.
So what was the actual date?
2356 to 2323 BCE. That's his life span.
Say it again.
23
Some reason my... Go ahead.
2356 to
Thank you.
2323.
Yeah, my brain
Fuck, he was young.
reverted numbers. Yeah, he was.
Well, I guess for his day and age, he was old as shit. So, I mean, look at Tut.
Yeah.
What was he, 9 when he died?
No.
Oh, look at my brother. No,
Who?
shut up.
No. Chet was like 16, 17.
He's like 18.
Was he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So middle-aged. Okay.
Oh, I don't know, guys. Like, so
I had
in
a
your
stepbrother
opinion,
in that time period.
But what I was originally getting to is, do you know why they think that, or people believe that the original pyramids were decorated? The main bad guy in the Mummy movie, his name is Imhotep.
Immortal.
He built the first pyramid. He was the architect. So in that movie, everything around him is decorated, but that wasn't true back then. Most of the stuff, they didn't even
Yeah,
do inscriptions. It was painted on.
Yeah, that's just movie magic, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
And
you
the
know,
pyramid he built was a step pyramid. It wasn't even an actual, like... He sucked at it.
It was a ziggurat.
What the hell is that?
a ziggurat is a step
A
pyramid.
ziggurat.
Oh. Is that
It's
what
like you make a big rectangle and then you build a smaller rectangle on top of that and then you build a smaller rectangle on top of that. That's a ziggurat.
That's the name of the shape?
Yes, it's
Yep.
the architectural style. So it would basically be, if you look at pretty much any of the early Mayan temple or
Yep.
pyramids, they would be
Babylonian
considered
stuff. That was
ziggurats.
a lot of them there.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, they'd be easier to build, wouldn't they?
Well, they'd be a hell of a lot easier to build. And that's why I'm wondering, I'm like, looking at it kind of at the same way that Joe is, where I'm like, you know, these are not easy to build. Those 3 pyramids are not easy to build. That takes a massive amount of knowledge and a massive amount of structural engineering.
Did they not have burlap?
No.
In that day and age?
They had... Okay, why?
Because all it takes is you cut them sort of straight, and then you get the slaves to ride down on burlap sacks. All of a sudden, everything's smooth as fuck.
I don't think that's how that works. I'm pretty sure
No.
it's not.
Hey, you weren't there. You don't know. Fred, it could be. Plus, like the main 3, the 3 pyramids of Giza, they're not even complete anymore.
No, they don't have their bin stones.
Well, none of them, like even the original step pyramid, none of them have the limestone casing. It was all broken off.
Yeah, well, it was reused and repurposed, is what it was. And then...
No, we can call it what it is.
Stole it to build Cairo.
That was fucking stolen. Let's call that what it is.
Right, but that's what I said, reused and repurposed. Like, yeah,
No, that makes it sound like good for the environment. Fuck that shit.
Vandal.
Okay, alright, fine. It was old-ass Egyptian vandals, and they were like, hey, that's pretty awesome. I'm gonna make Cairo out of this. Okay?
Years of Egypt.
But
I need some limestone. Let's go mine some. Oh, why do that? There's a big pile of it right over there.
Right?
Right?
Although the gold on top I would have taken.
well, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Do you know how much
First.
that
God.
shit would be worth? It's like
Yeah,
a
that
full
was the
golden
first thing I read.
pyramid, for fuck's
Although
sake.
if you think about it, trying to climb that limestone just to get to the gold.
Well, that's why they took
That
the
would've been a
limestone
bitch.
down.
Maybe.
Because it made it easier to get to the gold.
Man. I don't know, like
And Cole, come on. There's like 3 guys in a ladder, and they're like, really? It took me like 3 seconds. Okay. God.
friend,
No, you know, thinking of pyramids, though, there's been pyramids. It's not just in Egypt that there's pyramids. There's pyramids freaking everywhere.
fuck, there's one in Saskatchewan.
Okay? They're supposedly one on Mars. I mean, for fuck's sake, they're everywhere.
You know, and that's I guess my big question. is
Okay,
you've got
the one on
pyramids-
Mars, come on.
No, I'm
That's
not
a
even.
mountain.
I'm not even counting the one on Mars because that could be a trick of light. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly. But you've got the one in Telescope, you've got the ones over the ocean, you've got ones here. And how did the Egyptian stuff get in the Grand Canyon? I mean, there's a whole lot of anomalies.
That's not an anomaly to me.
No,
There's
No.
pyramids in South America and Mexico.
right?
Yeah, and
right,
that's
right,
the-
right,
The
right.
Egyptians were there.
It's a possibility.
Or-
That's the thing.
Well,
they
see-
did have boats.
Now, this is the thing that nobody
This is
thinks
true.
about either. For thousands of years after Egyptian civilization, Egyptian culture, people went in and looted the shit out of it. Okay? So you're telling me that there could not have been some Viking or Viking-like race out there that looted the shit out of something and buried it in the Grand Canyon area. It doesn't mean that they were necessarily there. It's just like 10,000 years from now, they'll say that there was Egyptians in Central Park in New York City because we have one of the obelisks there.
Kayla, it's 2023. They allow Egyptians into the United States now.
No, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we have one of the original obelisks from Egypt that we exported over and put in Central Park.
I know, but that is not
Hey.
going to be the thing that they're going to notice.
Well,
it's all the things of King Kong that are sitting there, like at the Empire State Building.
Yeah, and they'll be
That's what
like,
they're gonna
holy
find."
crap, there were giant monkeys back then, guys! Like,
Just one.
but see, that's what I'm saying is the most
we're
ridiculous
fucking
part about
talking
this.
bugs. What are you talking about?
Is that thousands of years from now, what are they going to find from us that they go, oh my god, they worshipped this. Oh my god, there's this holy book called Harry freaking Potter, and they thought that people had magical powers, and there was this kid. Okay, like, seriously. They're going to take the most...
What they're going to know about us is that we carved the heads of our 4 gods into a mountain.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That'll still be here.
Exactly.
The cities, the buildings, all that stuff will be gone.
But that's what I'm saying. If they were to find one of our libraries, okay, we found all of the Dead Sea Scrolls, right? And we open it up and we're like, holy crap, this is a new chapter of this is a new chapter of that. This happened, that happened, all of these things happened. Okay, if somebody were to find one of our libraries and some of our books, can you think what they would think our culture was? What they would think that we believed in?
And the only book people from the future find is the book Everybody Poops.
Right?
Let's first admit...
Or that dinosaur book, All My Friends Are Dead.
The library is not going to be the one to survive.
No. But still.
It's going to be a sex shop. And these people were freaks.
That's what I'm saying, though, is that we are basing their entire culture off of something that we go, hey, look, this must have meant that they believed in this. We have no fucking idea.
My biggest issue with all this history is we find ancient civilizations like the Kassites, right? Or the original Egyptians. And we can't, like, when we first find out about them, we can't make heads or tails of their hieroglyphs. And then all of a sudden, it's just, we start learning it by guessing.
Yeah.
We could be completely fucking wrong about everything.
Well, as far as the Egyptians go, it wasn't that ancient of a civilization. I mean, actually, it was Greeks and Romans running the place at the end. The last queen of Egypt was Cleopatra.
I'm going back but I'm going back to like 4,000 years ago when they are still considered hunter-gatherers.
Oh, yeah, well, no one knows anything about hunter-gatherers.
But they had developed writing at that point.
They gathered.
But they had developed writing at that point, and it was hieroglyphs, but it doesn't mean it meant the same thing.
No, okay, so have you...
You know what I mean?
So, there was this thing going around where they translated a song. What song was that? I can't remember what fucking song that was.
I'm bringing sexy back.
No, but they translated a song into...
Wow.
Oh my god. Into Hindu, and then back into American again, and it was totally fucking, like, the words were basic similes of each other. They were basic, like, thesaurus renderings of each other, but it didn't make anywhere near the same amount of sense. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that happens.
Translations mess things up.
Yeah, but that happens now.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing, especially with music, because, friend, there's songs from the 90s and the early 2000s that we all felt as teenagers they meant something totally different. And, like, the actual meaning of them ended up being really fucking sad.
Yeah.
Friend.
It goes back further than that, too.
Oh, yeah, like, they're all throughout.
I'm still finding out stuff from the 80s that make it... It's a never-ending source of just fun for me is watching. There's this professor of rock on YouTube, and he interviews all of these. His thing is 70s, 80s, some early 90s, and it's fascinating to hear the songwriters and the musicians sit down and talk about where the song was about. And I'm almost always just completely off base about what I thought the song was about. So
right.
Yeah, like it's...
Well, here's the neat
insane.
thing about music, though, is that a writer can have a specific thing in his mind and what he's writing about. And he puts it down, the words down, and then he sings the words. People hear the words, but not trying to get a literal definition of what he's talking about. It means something different for everybody.
Absolutely.
Yep.
It's how the song speaks to you. It's not about...
And that's great for
Exactly.
Visualized.
That's great for music, but when it comes to language,
Yeah, when it comes to saying this is exactly what they thought and how they felt and who they were...
and that's the thing. That's where you could
Perfect
be totally
example
right,
of
Joe.
this. Perfect example of that would be the Bible. It was originally written in Aramaic and then Hebrew and then
Yep.
translated into Greek and from Greek into Latin and then from Latin into English. You
And
don't
then
think they might have fucked up some of the translations in there?
And then in Then
Well,
in English,
and I mean-
11 billion translations in English.
Yeah.
Well, and if you really
Yeah.
think about it, before it was even put on paper, it was passed down as word of mouth. It was from one person to another. As
Let me give you a perfect example. So they love to use the Bible verse that says, "Suffer not a witch to live," and they take that and think, "Oh, let's go kill all the witches." Well, in ancient Hebrew, the term "witch" was actually poisoner or murder.
no, see,
It wasn't a
Bad
witch like
translation.
yeah.
but the problem
Fuck
with
the
that
first-
is it's not just the Bible; it's every holy text
Yeah,
that
but-
has been translated through years and years and years
The
of different
first
languages.
commandment could be, "Thou shalt kill" sometimes.
Yeah.
Who the fuck knows?
And then,
Yep.
as it was translated down, obviously it became, oh, that's immoral.
Like, think about it. The commandments were written not long after we were caveman. It may not say, "Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife." It could say, "Thou shalt take thy neighbor's wife when thou wants to." Because that's how they acted back then.
Now, I mean, to be perfectly honest, any of the translations of anything that have been retranslated and reprocessed and progressed and thrown out all over the place, they're all going to be off from what the original story was. Every single one of them. It's just like playing telephone. By the time it reaches back to you, you're going to have it off a little.
Joe doesn't like that.
You don't even have to go back that far. You can see today, right here in the news. You can watch a politician say something on video, him talking into the camera, and then watch 3 different news broadcasts, and they all have a different interpretation of what he meant.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Or
Well, I
they
mean-
take the pieces that they want to make it fit whatever agenda it was on whichever side it was. Well, he said this, but it's taken completely out of context of the actual speech.
Correct.
Or they never tell you what he said right after that.
Or before.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Context.
And they'll be like, oh my god, he said that he did this. Well, no, he was actually saying that we shouldn't be doing that, but you just took this small portion of the speech and said, that's what he said.
It's not even politicians.
No, it's everybody. It's
That latest
everybody.
school shooting.
How many times have you... Okay, here's the simplest way to explain this to everyone to get it. You send a text to somebody you know, and it makes perfect sense what you write to them. It's not auto-corrected or anything. It's just exactly what you say. The other person reads it, and they interpret it another way, and they get pissed off at you or mad, and they're like, what? What are you talking about?
Or it works the opposite way where they're like, oh, fuck yeah! And then, oh.
Oh, yeah.
Not what I meant. Okay, cool. So, yes.
I'm bad at texting, so I never expect them to actually get what I mean. I have fat fingers.
Dude, for real.
For
I've gotten some doozies from this dude where I was like, if I didn't know you, I'd be super fucking mad right now. Or if you accidentally... Okay, so... I don't understand all the emojis, I guess. Okay. So... I'll send like
I use my own interpretations for an emoji.
Like this
Send an
weird
emoji.
little
People say,
laughing
what the hell
face
are you talking about,
emoji.
you asshole? It's like, what?
Right. So I'll be like, oh, I'm surprised. So I'll send an emoji with the guy being like, oh. And then I'm like, oh, that meant, oh. I suck with them. And everybody seems to have an idea of which ones are dirty and which ones are not and everything else. And some of them are... And they change all the time, and some of them are like an innocent, like thumbs up. Oh, now that means I'm gonna stick my thumb up your butt. It's weird shit, and I don't understand them.
Exactly.
So I stick
Very
to,
frustrating.
hey, look, it's a smiley face. This one's crying and laughing. All right, there we go.
Well, okay.
I blame the kids.
Right?
Like,
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys. If I was to send you an emoji text that had a question mark, a brick wall, and a wave, like a hand waving, what is that?
That means if we built the wall, Mexico paid for it.
No.
Oh, okay.
42 Wallaby Way, Sydney.
Huh?
What?
42 Wallaby Way, Sydney.
Okay, because that makes sense.
The ultimate question, 42.
Yeah.
Yes.
Brick wall. Bye. Wallaby.
All would be way. Okay, I get it, but that's so dumb.
It is the way it's done now, and it might have been the way it was done back then. Frick, half of the shit that they wrote might not actually make sense to anyone now.
No,
Yeah.
is it true? Look at the emojis today.
Yeah.
Well, okay, and just like they say, oh well, maybe when they were talking about like these human god things that had wings, they were talking about them flying in spaceships, or they were talking about them doing this, or we have no idea what the hell they were actually talking about.
Yeah, if they had a picture of a guy with wings, maybe that means he flies through the air in a craft. But they didn't know how to draw that, so.
Yeah, and like,
So they gave him wings.
You know, if you think, have you thought about the circular thing that written language has taken? Okay, the Egyptians, they used pictures for words.
And now we're
And then
to
we developed
emojis.
words, and now we're back to the damn
Yes.
pictures for words. And no, even the people writing them don't know what they mean.
Now, see, that's the best part. Is okay, we went from that to full out structured language to abbreviations of everything in the structured language to symbolization of like LOL means laugh out loud. Okay, that kind of shit. To now I'm just gonna send you a face that looks like it's crying and sideways.
Well, but look at, okay, if they found, let's say 5,000 years from now, totally different society, everything crashed, and they find a hard drive and they're able to actually read what's on it, and it is from Verizon, and it has the text from a 19-year-old man. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, they're thinking this guy was a farmer who only farmed for eggplants. Like...
And look, some reason there's a few peaches on there.
Yeah. Those were his two fruits.
Well, Joe was talking earlier about, well, the Egyptians just get to a point and they stop and they don't do anything else. Maybe it was just the fact their kids have whatever their version of TikTok is, and that's it. All the brains stopped. Everybody, they just quit learning, and all they did was they just had ancient Egyptian influencers just sitting around and doing this all day long.
Right? And they're like, why do we need to build? It's already built. God.
Yes.
Leave me alone, Dad.
I could totally see King Tut being all like, Dad, I don't want to rule Egypt. God. Why can't you just let Tutmos do it?
Do you know what's messed up? There is him and one other pharaoh. You know the gold hoods that they wore?
The death
that their
masks.
mummies wore when they were dead?
Yeah.
The death masks?
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only two that survived off of Pharaoh. 2 pharaohs, that's it. Out of all of the pharaohs we had through all the dynasties of Egypt, only 2 were ever
They
recovered.
stole them all.
Well, yeah. They stole them. They melted them down.
Well,
They're
that's the thing.
probably in part of my ring right now.
So when the priests, I guess you'd call them, took all the bodies, when they found out they were being grave robbed in the early 20s, Mm-hmm. And they took all the bodies. The last one they buried, the seal wasn't broken, but the thing was gone.
Yeah.
That's the stupid part. Like, it just wasn't there.
Maybe you had to be of a higher class.
The Valley of the King. When they found the Valley of the Kings in Egypt, that's where they were burying a lot of the New Kingdom pharaohs and stuff.
Yeah.
Every tomb that they found had already been raided. The seals were already broken. Everything looted out of it.
But this, I'm talking
the
about.
The reason they found Tut's intact is because the whole front of it was covered with debris from a tomb that had been built above it.
I'm talking about the first kings before they built the Valley of the Kings. The first king of Egypt, or the last king of Egypt before they built the Valley of the Kings, when they hid the bodies.
Right.
His seal wasn't broken. When they broke in, his thing wasn't there.
Yeah, but
and this is the priest that buried him. That's a possibility.
Either the priest stole it, or they didn't start doing those until later on.
I don't know. Maybe.
Again, there's no one answer that can prove anything beyond. Yeah. So unless we can find a way to go back in time and actually see them do it, everything is speculation. Science is just at a standstill.
Tuts will always by far. Tuts will always by far be the coolest because it contains glass that didn't exist in
Egyptian
within
tombs.
10,000.
It also contains daggers that shouldn't have existed at that point in Egyptian history. It contains a lot of shit that shouldn't.
As items used from space.
Yeah, wasn't that where they found that weird little ring thing that looked like a Swiss freaking watch?
Well, they also.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like an arrowhead, but not an arrowhead. Part of a spear, excuse me, came from meteorite.
Oh, you're talking about the black
dagger. That was a dagger
that
was in Tut's tomb, and they couldn't figure out what the metal was, and they figured out it came from a meteorite.
Yeah, it was
perfectly fashioned blade made out of meteorite material. The thing is, back then they didn't have the ability to take a meteorite, find it, and hone it down into a blade.
No, not only
That's the weird part
but
about
they
the whole thing.
didn't. With the specific type of meteoric material that was in there, with the compounded copper, I believe that was in it, it would have been harder than shit for modern day people to have made that dagger.
In other words, back then, they couldn't have fashioned the meteorite that was found into a dagger. Here's the dagger.
Right.
The glass in his chest piece couldn't actually get a fire hot enough at that point to actually
have that purified of glass.
Yeah. So, I do believe that they would have had interaction with aliens. I don't think they would have went as far as to build a pyramid for them.
Now, see, I don't even believe necessarily it was aliens. Okay, so again, I'm a little bit weird, but I really do believe in a recycled Earth theory. And I really do believe that we have already been to this level and far beyond in technology before. And then a cataclysm happened, and we started back from the damn Stone Age and worked our way back up again. I believe this happens every, 10, 20,000 years, that we relive the same trajectory and path, maybe a little bit different with different timing on certain things, but I don't necessarily believe that aliens came and did all this stuff for us, but I think that humanity did it, just that they were a more evolved and more technologically advanced civilization than we thought they were.
So the big question would be, if aliens did it, for what purpose? What would be the point? Was it an energy source? Why would aliens build a pyramid?
Well, and at that point, when you're thinking about why would anybody build anything, if you were to walk into anybody's backyard and see lawn ornaments. Okay, you see freaking there's little tiny, oh God, what are those gnomes all over the place, or
Right.
there's this or there's that, right? There doesn't actually need to be a reason for it. All you'd have to think is like, look at some of our fucking modern art, what we call modern art. Which is just a random ass sculpture of like some circular shit that somebody threw on a platter and said, "Hey, it's art."
Fran, I will say, if we're gonna go with the idea of it's a electrical item, Joe, how good of a conductor is limestone? Do you know?
It's not.
It's not at all?
What about shale?
Okay, but so...
Limestone? No.
Yeah.
No,
so you
limestone
think about that,
crap.
okay? The entire thing is capped in limestone except for the very top, which is gold.
Joe, doesn't limestone can keep heat in?
Well, yeah. Any heat
Any
or
stone.
rock like that can keep heat in. I mean, you wait for the sun to go down, pull out a thermal thing, and look around. All the rocks are still going to be hot and glowing. They keep heat.
Exactly.
Some of them have electrical properties, like
Quartz.
say a granite. Why? Because it's got a lot of crystals in it. It's got a lot of quartz crystals,
And crystal
and they
was
have that
used.
piezoelectric effect where they'll vibrate, and they'll,
But
people have them
limestone
in
would
watches.
not.
They use them in computers. Limestone is basically just dead biological animals, shellfish, and stuff that was at the bottom of the sea. Mm-hmm. So
Okay.
it's shells,
So it's not a conductor at all.
carcasses.
It's compressed
So-
carcasses
Not that I
for
know,
thousands
no.
of years.
It would hold electricity within it if, like, you used it as a shell around, let's say, a wire. Would it not?
Well, you're talking an insulator there.
Yeah.
That-
Would it
yeah.
not insulate it?
Yeah, it would insulate
So think about that.
because it doesn't conduct.
To be used as an
It's
electrical
just
device.
like why you have rubber on a copper wire. The rubber keeps the electricity from leaving the copper wire. So
you
limestone, theoretically, in this whatever you're building here, yeah.
So you asked, why would they do it? Well, if it's an electrical device, let's say to charge them or something, friend, your entire body of it's covered in limestone, and then the tip is gold,
Right.
which is a conductor.
So maybe it was a powering device for
Oh,
the
yeah.
craft.
I mean,
There's
a
a lot
fucking
of
cell
theories
phone
out
charger.
there because inside the pyramid, in some of those chambers, it's not limestone. It's red granite.
right.
So is red
Which
granite
is full
a
of
conductor?
quartz.
It's
and
full of
there
quartz.
are
It's a
holes
huge
and little
conductor.
chambers built
Yeah.
through the thing that don't make sense. Nobody knows what it was for. I mean, there are theories that the lower chambers were filled with mercury and they conducted electricity somehow, and maybe it was a power source, kind of like a Tesla device thing.
Right, like the Tesla.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And according
And
to their
like you
website,
said, why would the aliens come here and build something for us? Maybe they didn't come here and build something for us. Maybe they came here and built something for them.
Right.
And that's why you
Organization.
find pyramids in Egypt. You find them in Mexico. You find them in China. You find them in. There's supposedly
Right. Now
one
it
in
could.
Bosnia somewhere that they think it's a hill, but they think it might be a giant
Right.
pyramid under this hill.
Right.
No, absolutely.
No, I mean,
God knows what's down in the Antarctic.
it
According
could
to
be
one
a
of the
Well,
news
and there's some
stations for
in the
Giza?
United States as well. Small
Oh yeah,
ones.
there are.
Yeah, oh yeah.
but according to one of the news stations for Giza, they just announced they're going to close all the lower chambers off to tourists. You'll only be able to go to the upper ones. Mm-hmm. Because that chamber that they found, they're going to go explore it.
Ooh, I want to see more.
And you can't
Egypt
be in
shit.
any of the ones adjacent to it
I
or
want to
close to
explore
it.
it, motherfuckers.
I don't.
I don't
You
think
go
we
ahead
have
and go climb in a
the,
tomb. I'm not going.
I'll take Bigfoot with me.
I don't think we have the speciality needed.
I'll take Bigfoot with me.
I'd be so.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I will.
now this sounds
I had Bigfoot
really,
here yesterday.
What?
really ridiculous.
Did you ask me any questions?
You weren't you supposed to ask a question to them for us?
Yeah.
No, that was Einstein.
No,
for
that
me.
was Einstein.
Oh, that was Einstein.
No, I
Oh,
had
I
some
forgot.
questions.
It's
I had
like,
some questions.
Damn it,
Well,
Nikki.
why? Einstein came back didn't
No, I didn't know. No, but Actually, I forgot to write the question down. Hang on, Einstein.
Whoa. What did Bigfoot have to say?
Okay.
Are they coming
what's up
out of
with
spring
Bigfoot?
hibernation or winter hibernation?
Oh, I talked about that on my channel today.
I don't have
He
time to
talked
watch your
about-
channel.
Oh, that's fucked up.
update.
What's wrong with you?
He talked about...
Hey, Nikki,
Yes.
you could tell them about the visit last night if you want.
May I?
You may.
Visit. You got visited?
Thank you. So I this is gonna be funny, but I came out of my bathroom, sat down on my bed, grabbed my phone because it was plugged into the charger on the wall, and I'm looking at my phone. I'm on SOR and in the chat. Joe's in chat. I say hi to him, and I'm paying attention to what's being said, but I'm not in audio, but I'm not really looking at chat. And Joe's name passes by a couple of times, and I'm not paying a whole lot of attention, and I'm seeing a lot of different people that I know in chat,
Right.
but I'm not paying attention to anything that anybody's really saying. And I look down, and I see Joe's name again pop up. I honestly don't have a freaking clue as to what the hell he said. And the next thing I know, my feet chakras are planted and yanked through the ground into the core of the earth. And I've got Sasquatch energy, and they're going, you got to tell him he's in danger. Got a little bit more involved in that. And
Who, Joe?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I get my chakras from my feet all the way up to my low back and my core yanked through, and then in higher consciousness, I am yanked through the earth, and I mean through the entire freaking fucking planet. Pardon me, but
to
it
China?
just I've experienced a lot of shit in my lifetime. I have never experienced this before. I've been in higher consciousness all over the fucking universe. I'm not even joking on that one. But this, I've never been through the planet before. And I came up, and it was because of the Sasquatches. They like Joe, and they want to protect him.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I literally, in my higher consciousness, in the form that I can only describe as the oh God, what is it when it's called? It's 6 times. You've done something to the 6th degree, and I can't think of what it's called. You triple, quintuple, or whatever that's called, or anyway. And it was like that high of a consciousness for me. And I literally came up through the earth in consciousness on Joe's property. And I was seeing, it was like I was seeing and feeling through this Sasquatch. And he allowed me to see what he was seeing, feel what he was it was the most bizarre, freakazoid experience I've ever had, but the coolest at the same time. And let me tell you, I've experienced some really wicked cool things in my life. This one is like top 3. I can't say 1, but it's in my top 3. And I'm like, holy crap. But Joe had something that was passing through his property. And Joe's got a big piece of property.
Mm-hmm.
And at least that's how it felt to me. And this thing was much bigger than a Sasquatch. And I was getting told he needs to go inside, which, funny enough, and I waited, and I'm like, I don't normally wait, but I didn't want to freak Joe out so severely as to what I was seeing and feeling. And I'm like, he's not necessarily quite in full danger yet. And I'm like, I need to know more information. I want to know what the hell is going on. And so I'm shown this. And I didn't feel like it was a dogman. I didn't feel like it was a Sasquatch, but it was something in physical form. It was bigger. It was at least between 15 and 17, maybe 18 feet tall. Was huge. Well over 1,800 pounds. I mean, just really fucking huge. And I got told, you need to tell him, go inside, get the dog.
Get the gun.
And he needs to be told that he's going to be hearing crunching, like breaking of large branches, because this thing is making a lot of noise as it's walking through the forest and through the property. And it's going to be stepping on these... to me, it sounded like large twigs, but with the size of the feet that I visually saw, these were not frickin' twigs, buddy. I mean, these were like branches, big frickin' branches, and this thing is breaking them in half like they're nothing.
Hey,
while it's
Nikki?
walking through the forest, yeah.
Was it a troll?
And I felt a troll before. This didn't feel like a troll, but it was big. It did have a lot of fur on it, but the fur wasn't as long as Sasquatch. Anyway, so a number of minutes go by. I'm in the process of typing up this information to Joe. I send it to him, and he comes back with info saying, you know, it's funny, just as that's coming in.
I'll give you part 2 of that. I'll give you the part from my end. Okay, this was all happening to Nikki. I had no idea. She hadn't contacted me.
I was in the process of typing.
I'm sitting out here. We had, a heavy snowstorm had come through, and sitting out here with the dog, and she's, still post-op, and so she has the cone on her head, and she starts growling. Now, I've heard her growl at deer and what I thought might be bears or bigger things, and she growls pretty good and deep. It's a Rottweiler.
Right.
But last night, I heard a sound come out of her that I'd never heard before. This was so deep. It was almost subsonic. She was trying to sound like she was like 500 pounds.
Was it
not moving, sitting right in front of me, looking at the woods.
Was it terror?
What?
Was it like terror, or was it...
No. She was pissed off that something was there. She wasn't barking, but she was letting whatever was out there know, don't come over here, I'm bigger than you. You know how they just... It's this deep, guttural... I call it the Rottweiler rumble.
I can see that. Oh, shit.
It's not... And it's terrifying.
Huge.
And she was doing... And I've never heard her do this quite to this extent. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there, and I'm looking out in the woods, and I'm hearing cracking and breaking. And I assumed that was because of the heavy snow load, and I saw a tree go down earlier. There was trees breaking everywhere, and I'm listening to the trees breaking. I'm thinking, okay, she's just hearing the trees breaking, branches breaking. There's all kinds of noise in the woods. But she was so freaked out that it kind of, all of a sudden, the hair on the back of my head stood up. And I got there, I put the flashlight around, I got a pretty powerful one, and I saw a lot of what you might consider eye shine, but there was so much ice everywhere that the forest was almost sparkling when you hit it with a light. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't really tell if there was anything out there. But I just got this weird feeling. I don't know where it came from. And I said, you know what, dog? Come on. And I pulled her back into the garage, and I shut the garage door. And then she calmed down, and she sat right at my feet looking at the garage door, but she wasn't growling anymore. And then I typed into the chat room, I said, yep, it's too cold out here. I'm moving me and the dog into the woods. Right then, Nikki sent her information saying, something's out there. And she had her timeline written right next to all the things that she was feeling. And all those timelines is when this started. I knew something was going on. I didn't know what. I just got a feeling. Yeah?
20 sticks ain't going to help against something 15 foot tall.
Oh, no. I knew there was something there.
I knew that he needed to have the dog behind him, and he needed to have at least 2 sawed-off shotguns, one in each hand. I'm not fucking joking. That was my feeling. I was like, Joe, I know you got the pointy sticks, but
Shoot for
Yeah.
the nads. Shoot for the nads.
If
Oh,
it's
man,
15,
Well, you know, you don't-
it freaked me out.
if it's 15
You don't have
feet
to worry
tall,
about.
a 30
You don't
foot,
have to worry about Uncle Joe sitting out here in the woods without armament
I
around.
know. That
A
I
third-
do.
If it's 15 feet tall, a 30-foot pointy stick should do.
Yeah.
So here's the third part of the story. So Joe messages me back, gives me information, and by this time my feet are on fire. I mean, we're not talking like, oh my God, somebody's got a hot foot. No, we are talking my toes, the tips of my toes, the skin on the tops of my feet, on the underside of my feet, running up my ankles and through my legs. Everything, my energy was not only on fire, I was vibrating. I was vibrating so fast that I was literally afraid that if I stood up and walked, I was going to be in another realm. I've never experienced that before. On top of it, I couldn't move. The Sasquatch that had planted me to my bed and planted my feet and my chakras, I literally tried to lift my feet. I could not lift my feet. I couldn't even stand, let alone get my ass up off the damn bed. I couldn't anything. And I'm like, okay, so I'm here and I'm seeing everything in the etheric realm as well as coming up through Joe's property, and I saw all of the property. I can't even describe everything I saw. It was so fast and so proficient isn't quite the right word. But the thing of it was that what I saw, I not only saw it, I felt it, I smelt it, smelt it, dealt it is right along the saying that keeps popping into my head at this
Nikki,
second.
what did it
Yes?
smell like?
Weirdly clean. I don't mean like
Downy Fresh?
I don't mean like a some Sasquatch can hide their scent.
Right.
Many
I
of
believe
them
it's
choose
different
not to. Many of them choose not to, but many of them can choose to hide their scent.
How rude.
This one was choosing to... But oh my God, the muscles. Oh my God, the muscles on the arms and the legs. It was like a form of a human, but yet a form of a Sasquatch, but yet it was no Sasquatch. And it...
I would have...
honestly, it frightened me. It frightened me, and not a lot freaks me out, okay? I deal with demons. I deal with demon dogs. I deal with a hierarchy. I deal with... Not a lot freaks me out, okay? This motherfucker freaked me out. And I was like, oh, no. And the Sasquatch that I was connected to, he was like, we are protecting Joe. Joe needs to know that we're here and we're going to try and keep this thing away from him. But I was doing this, trying to shorthand everything because I could not. Oh my God, who posted that? See, I need to not be looking at chat. Oh my God. Anyway, fucking hell. That's a whole nother subject. It's a whole nother subject.
Well, if that's what was in the woods, I should have went out there.
No,
Well, you know, the fact that...
Danger would have taken you out in a fucking heartbeat.
I'm going to say it says
Here's the whole thing.
It says a lot
The
when
Bigfoot
you
was talking
actually
to
have...
Nikki said that they were...
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say how Nikki said they were trying to tell me, get in the house, using mind speak, whatever. I'm about as psychic as a rock. But I did feel something weird. I had the feeling, get inside. and for no reason. And I just said, okay, well, I'm going to follow the instinct. I got that feeling. I'm going to pull the dog in. I'm going to shut the door. And all that happened long before Nikki ever said anything. And Nikki sent me this big, long text that she had. All I said was, there's something out there. And boom, I get the response from her that she was obviously working on this for 5, 10 minutes, 20 minutes before.
10 minutes.
Yeah. 10 minutes. And it's that kind of, me and her kind of synced up, but then there was something out there telling me to get inside. I heard some massive trees go down. And I was assuming it was from all the snow and frost that we got.
Yeah.
And even when I was sitting out here, I kept hearing thump, thump, these big, heavy thumps. And for the people in snow country, you know what it sounds like when a bunch of snow that's at the top of a pine tree all of a sudden drops, and when it hits the ground, you got that heavy thump. Yep. That's what I assumed it was. But after getting Nikki's thing, I thought, well, maybe it's something else.
Yeah, I know it went by the house, and weirdly, I know that it's not going to leave tracks. But yet, I want to know, where are those damn branches? Because that's evidence. That's evidence right there.
There's stuff down everywhere. We lost a bunch of trees, and I assumed it was all from the snowfall.
It speaks volumes when you actually have a Sasquatch. Yeah. A Sasquatch wouldn't warn you about a Sasquatch, usually, unless it's a threatening Sasquatch. But honestly, the fact that it was a Sasquatch that warned you says that it's not part of the Sasquatch family. Just my opinion.
Joe's had rogue beings walk through his property before because I felt them.
Right.
And he's had some very interesting things on his property, to say the very least. He's had a dog man through there. He's had a couple of other things. But I'm here to tell you this: I've never and I've experienced a lot of different energy from a lot of different beings. And Kayla?
Yes.
Is it okay if I state I'm looking for the one word that you used. It's not the description, but it literally states what it may have been. May I use that?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. She's saying it's possible it might be a jinn. It's very possible. The thing, I work with the king of the jinn, and periodically, I mean, if I have to, there are hierarchies and hierarchy royalty beings that I've had to work with, whether I've wanted to or not, for very specific reasons. And I know, and I call him the king of the jinn, because I don't know what else to call him. He's a royalty being. I've worked with him before. I typically would have gotten a warning from him if it was a true jinn. And I didn't get anything. And this was not the king of the jinn. I know his energy. This was the Sasquatch. He was very much mind-speaking, but it was an interesting form of mind-speak I've not quite experienced before. But I recognized it as Sasquatch. And 3 hours. Oh, and FYI, I was stuck to that damn bed for 30 to 40 minutes. I could not get up, no matter what I fucking did. He kept me there because he was like, "You're going to see everything." I literally. It finally started to go. Oh, shut up!
You should look at the chat. Look at the chat.
Look at the chat and say you were stuck to the bed for 45 minutes.
Oh, gee. Well, I wouldn't mind being stuck to the bed for 45 minutes if it were something else. Oh, dear God. Oh, crap.
I posted that before you said that, okay?
Anyway, Rick, are you okay? Anyway, the point is that the Sasquatch care a great deal about Joe. And they finally, Robert says remaining silent on that one. Oh yeah, he did. Anyway, but when he finally released me enough, I mean, when he finally released my chakras, my chakras in my feet enough to where I could actually stand to walk, I'd been there almost 45 minutes. And I was like, I've got to move. And he made it to where my tailbone didn't hurt. I was like, honey, can we make that permanent? I would like to be able to do things. Because he literally, for that 30 minutes, I was cured of my back issues. I haven't felt that in years. It was, so on that, anyway, 3 hours later after that, he came back, the Sasquatch came back. And he was approximately 3.5, 4 feet away from me, opened a portal, and my living room was nice and toasty warm, and I was oh so cozy and finally starting to feel better, but I was on a psychic high. And this dude opens a portal, and it's ice cold, and I get a breeze coming in, and
because it's colder than shit here.
My apartment heat was going out the portal, and he's
psychic high. Okay. No, you were smoking weed. Just admit it.
Oh my God.
And so, my apartment.
Well, Nikki, next time you talk to the Bigfoot that are around the property here, just thank them for me.
They know.
You know.
They know. But I will tell them again. And he. And it's the one that I know this. It's the one that likes you and that you like. It was him. I know that. I could tell by the energy. And the fact that he came to check on me 3 hours afterwards is a really big deal to me. I mean, I thanked him up one side and down, and I mean, it took me a minute to figure out who he was because the energy was different. But when I went, who the hell are you? And I went, oh! And he wasn't mind speaking like he has normally. I was picking it up through my gut, a different form of my intuition, a different form of mind speak for me. And I didn't quite understand that until just before he left, and part of that was he's a bit younger, and that has a lot to do with it. And so, but yeah, I thanked him up one side and down the other because it meant a lot to me for him to be able to trust me, because he considers their race of being considers us fragile. And the fact that he used such strong energy on me, when Mama did it in Mount Baker, it nearly dropped me. I mean, she almost caused a heart attack. No frickin' joke. And they are strong. And he showed me just exactly how strong he was. But yeah, they care a great deal about Joe and the dog and folks who are on that property and the animals and the beings that are on that property. So it means a lot to them that Joe takes care of the place a specific way. So that's a big deal. And that's all I got to say on it. It's just he checked on me. We had a number of things to say. I thanked him up one side and down the other, and he was gone. And it took me a total of 9.5 hours to finally come down. I was no longer on a psychic high. And when I've been on a psychic high before, when it first happened years ago, it took me 6 to 8 weeks. I couldn't sleep. I was doing 1 hour, 2 hour fractions of dozing, of sleeping. It put me in the ER for a very long time. So I can now control that now. So the fact that he was like, okay, we're going to fully let go. And I'm like, okay, thank you. And that was it. It was a hell of an experience, and I'm glad that Joe and Lola are okay, and the property is okay, and the thing is passed through.
Where
For
was
sure.
it
But
going?
yeah,
Did
it-
you ever find out, like, was it migrating somewhere? Was it
It
moving
was
on to
passing
another
through.
territory?
That's all I know. It was passing through.
Okay.
It didn't feel like I've felt rogue Sasquatch before.
So see, the
Rogue
other
Ugh.
thing
Feeling
that I
chill.
would bring up, just like insane, is that the weather patterns have been very different this year. So the
Yes.
migrations of things
It's
have
almost,
been
it's almost a normal year.
yeah, and that's
It
what I
really
said. The migrations of things have gone back to what they were about 70 years ago versus what they were.
I was thinking a good
a few-
35, yeah.
You know what I mean. So
Yeah,
you're gonna
I do.
get. Well, we have way more animals down this way than we had this time last year. We just do. I mean,
Yeah.
there's been several times where we always have elk, we always have little deer and stuff. But in the past,
Oh, holy
like
shit.
4 freaking weeks, there's been so many of them on the roadways and in places
Oh,
they
we
are
have a-
not normally.
The magnetic shift is changing.
Mm-hmm.
The only time that seriously happens is when there's a magnetic shift and the animals are starting to feel it.
Mm-hmm. And that's what
Oh,
I'm saying
holy
is
shit.
that something is off. So I could see where it would throw patterns of certain animals off, certain beings
Yeah.
off, because they're just not. Well, like the other day, we were watching a bunch of geese migrating. They were migrating the wrong direction.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I wonder what bats are doing.
Not only that, but in the past month, how many freaking birds have we had hit one of our friggin' windows? Like, it's been insane.
Mm-hmm.
We have birds every once in a while that'll smack into a window. But there have been so many in the past month that I'm like, no, something is
That's not normal.
not normal
you
here.
that's
That's
Yeah,
messing.
that's
That's
not-
messing with the quantum factors in their brain. Is what that's doing. That's
Yes,
not just.
that's a magnetic.
A clean window.
Literally
Yeah.
that's a magnetic issue.
Mm-hmm.
When shit like that starts happening, that goes down to the magnetic resonance of the planet, which is weird
Yeah.
because when I was
And really, we might
connected
be
with
on
the
another
Sasquatch,
pole shift.
I didn't. Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
right at the time frame of
And
a
I
potential
felt the
pole
last
shift.
I felt the last shift in the pole. It started in 1994. And from 1994 until 1997 and 1998, every one of my friends I was telling, at that time, I was like, the shift in the magnetic shift in the poles are different. I can feel it. I don't know why I can feel it. And they knew enough to know not to screw with me on that because and I didn't understand it back then. I understand it now, but I didn't understand it back then.
Right.
And it was very frustrating. Because when I talked to anybody who was science oriented, they thought it was all bullshit, and I was, some crazy cracked out woman. And I'm like, I don't do drugs. Leave me the hell alone. I'm asking you logical, thought provoking, science oriented questions back then. Although I can't do it now, but back then I could, and I was so upset with them because they were treating me like some idiotic woman, and I'm like, I'm gonna smack the shit out of you.
Right.
Now I can
Right.
do it in the etheric and not have any problem with it, but I don't. But yeah, it's the magnetic shift. It's it's all of that. It's screwing with.
Well, if you look at
crap.
everything that's been
Well-
happening lately, there's a potential for
Well, it also
a
has to do
magnetic
with
pole
mountains.
change. There could be
Oh,
a
that
potential
has to
for
do
all
with
kinds of
mountains.
things. And to be
It
honest,
has to do with the mountains, Kayla.
we're overdue for a lot of stuff that we say, oh, this happens once every 50 million years. Well, we're 65 million years plus past where we're supposed to. You know what I mean?
Oh, we're overdue for Cascadia Seduction Zone.
We're overdue for the earthquakes. We're overdue for certain volcano activity.
Yep.
We're overdue for, like, if you look at all of these things that they're like, this typically happens every 1,000 years, and now we're in year, 1,500? Going, okay, this can happen any second now. It's like watching the sky waiting for Beetlejuice to explode. Okay? You know it's gonna happen.
Hey, fucker, how about no? Okay? Fuck! What the fuck? What's your problem?
Okay, seriously? Okay, so I was writing this book, and it was on the Cascadia Subduction Zone. And I was doing some research on it and watching some documentaries on it. And Cole finally was like, God damn it, no! Just stop! There's nothing we can do! We're all fucking dead! He's like going on this. So, I had to quit that project.
Oh yeah, that's why you quit. It had nothing to do with the fact that you developed 2 adult characters, decided you hated them both, so developed 2 kid characters, decided you hate them both, and just decided you fucking hate people and can't write a book because of it.
Well, yeah, so then I went to, Secret Agent Cow McMilk and Cheeseland. Kids' books are where it's at.
I have a follow-up question for Joe.
Yeah.
Yes.
For Joe. So, the puppy, did you say she hates deer or beer?
Oh.
Because if it's beer, she needs to go live at a farm upstate.
It wouldn't be my dog that hates beer. No, she doesn't like the deer when they're hanging out. She doesn't hate them, but she just basically yells at them, tells them to get the hell off the property.
Oh, okay.
They'll be out there. He'll say, "You assholes, get out of here! Get off my lawn!" Basically.
Sorry.
Yes.
And I actually have a follow-up question on that thing about the whatever it was, and it opened some kind of portal and it came through the property. Mm-hmm. And we were also talking about the weather. Now, here's my question: either or. Mm-hmm. Was whatever it is, this giant thing that came through, knocked all the trees over, freaked out the dog, freaked me out. Well, I guess I got freaked out because the Bigfoot was telling me to get the hell in the house. But did whatever it came through, did it cause this weather system that we just had? Or was it taking advantage of it? Because this weather system, we've been having snowmageddon for months up here. And this last storm that come through, they said it's going to be a little rain maybe. We might get a light dusting of snow. This thing came through and it turned on like someone flipped a switch.
Here comes
it went from, no, it's not bad out here, to snowflakes the size of baseballs. We were getting 2-3 inches an hour. And the temperature dropped incredibly, and it was like nobody expected this. So did it take advantage of the bad weather that it needed maybe to make the portal to come through or something? Or did it cause it?
I don't believe, based on what I felt, it was passing through. I think it was not a happy camper with the weather, because it was stomping. What I felt was actual stomps. It wasn't just walking. There were frustration stomps and then walking, and then frustration stomps and then walking.
Well, maybe so it's made this journey so many times, and this time it was impeded, so it was behind schedule.
From the feeling I got, I know it has been through the area, not necessarily Joe's property before, but I know that it's been through the area at least twice before. That was the feeling that I got from it last night. A matter of fact, around this time last night, 24 hours ago. Mm-hmm. And so, but I don't think it caused it based on the feel. I think it was frustrated. And the weird thing is it didn't even smell like it was coming from a cave, because normally like with the Sasquatch or with a being like that, I will smell cave smells on it, even if they try to hide their scent. There are certain scent that I cannot get rid of. Even the Sasquatch can't get rid of it from me, and I don't know why, but I smell cave.
Because it's their essence you're smelling, not their actual smell.
Yeah, and it's like their energy has permeated the rock or something, and the rock has permeated them. Oh, good God, I cannot look at that. Jesus, Eric. Anyway,
she's been naughty.
It's been very naughty. But yeah, there was no scent of a cave, like it had been traveling through a cave system. There was no scent of even food or BO. I mean, it was just a clean, not even earth scent. I mean, it was kind of like what you smell when you smell snow falling, or like a lot of snow falling. Oh dear God, I looked up at the wrong time. Jesus. Oh. Anyway, I gotta move that. So yeah, there's just no scent to it. And it was really rather confusing to me. So I think the way it felt to me was that it was moving through, and it was frustrated, and it didn't want anything in its way. And I think that's why the Sasquatch were warning Joe. And I got told, I said, you have other people you can contact. No, you are a direct link to him. You will get the message to him immediately. And I went, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. So, anyway. Oh, my God. I'm going to not be looking at the freaking chat. Anyway, I'm just glad that Joe and the dog are okay. So, and the other beings on the property.
Yep.
So.
Okay, so that aside.
Yeah, there's been a lot of strange things.
Yeah.
What else? Has Bigfoot told you anything about what's coming? Or what's going on this year? Or what they're doing?
He is.
What?
No.
They like marshmallows.
Not for me, they haven't.
Oh, okay.
They're not like hoarding toilet paper or anything? Or?
Right.
Jesus.
He's coming, guys.
Huh?
It's mating season.
I've felt 2 weeks ago. I felt the Sasquatch up at Baker. I had a link to them. It shocked the hell out of me that I was talking about them with somebody, and all of a sudden I got a hardcore link to them. They checked. They did a mini, very fast check-in, and that was it. And then here we are 2 weeks later, and Joe and the Sasquatch here, and I think it makes me wonder if, because I had a link 2 weeks ago with the Sasquatch up there at Baker, it makes me wonder if this Sasquatch felt that, she's safe enough that the others are talking to her. I'm going to use her as my link to let Joe have this message. So, I don't know. I just know that they did not want to be around this thing. I did not feel fear from them about this thing, but man, they were like, let him know. I did. Did my job.
I like my neighbors.
I like your neighbors too.
I like my hairy neighbors.
So,
yes,
anyway.
They're protective of certain people. They don't like
Yes,
humans
they
overall,
really
but
are.
when they get used to people that live in their area, their territory, they get very protective.
Yes, they do. So, Joe, you have a link through me via the Sasquatch. Because I honestly thought that they would contact Robin or somebody else, and they were like, no, you are it, you're the one, and I'm like, okay. where are we going? And the next thing I know, I'm being pulled down through the ground. I'm like, holy crap, this is cool, but holy crap. That was really neat. It was a really cool experience, I do have to say. At least they didn't... Okay, now this is going to be graphic. At least they didn't do what a hierarchy did to me a couple of years ago, where they said, you need to ground and center right now. And I'm like, well, I'm getting there. And they're like, no, not fast enough, because it's happening now. And they yanked my soul cord out my ass. And I'm like, and they grounded me. And I'm like, that hurt! I was like, okay.
Okay, whoa.
Wow. Wow. It was very painful. I didn't even know that could happen.
Who the fuck just comes along and yanks your soul out your ass? Okay, this hierarchy is not one that I would want to hang out with on a regular basis. I mean...
Well, there was an emergency situation, and according to him...
The emergency was something had to be yanked out your ass? That's a little more than an emergency, okay?
That's just another Saturday night back home. So.
Oh. Jesus. Happy hump day! Soul cord! Jesus!
No, it did not. But I'm here to tell you, I hurt for days afterwards. I kid you not. I had words. I was not a happy girl. I was doing a lot of yelling at him. I was like, "What? That hurt! What? You didn't even lube! What the hell?"
Huh?
Yeah, Jesus, it was bad. I was not a happy girl, but you know, that's life. It's something. It's an emergency situation.
What the fuck?
Sure
Okay, whoa. You cannot come at me with they ripped my soul out my ass, but hey, that's life.
They didn't rip my soul cord and grounded it to the core of the earth. I didn't even know it could do that.
I'm going to say this one time for your protection, Nikki.
Yeah.
People that do these things are not friends.
This was an emergency situation, and I ended up, I had my higher consciousness. That was one of the times that I ended up in my higher consciousness in 5 different ways.
Well, yeah, they probably pulled you right into it.
One of those consciousnesses ended up far out in the universe, and there was an emergency situation with, oddly enough, an ET among a number of other beings, and they needed help, and for whatever reason, I was the go-to.
Fuck and yeah, I'd puke out all my consciousness, too. I would puke out all my consciousness, too. If somebody ripped my cord out my ass, I'd be like, okay.
Reverse probing.
I kept telling him, I'm like, you didn't even use lube. What the hell is wrong with you?
This could be a new shirt for Reaper action wear. Soul beads coming out your ass.
Oh, God.
Or a really great name for a punk band from the 70s.
Yeah.
There you go.
Soul beads.
Hey.
Coming at your...
It's like pull my finger, but it's like, here, pull my soul cord.
No, pull my bear.
Do it. Yeah. See what happens.
Pull my...
Shit.
Pull my bear.
I might just have to trademark that one. Soul
Hold
beads.
my chocolate tequila.
God.
Yeah, that was prepare your. Anyway, I've had some very interesting experiences, to say the least. But,
I'm sorry, but if these things keep happening to you, I'd just carry a bottle of lube everywhere I went. Like fucking Costco size. I'd be like, all right, you know what? And every time somebody told me to ground and shield, I'd be like, all right, lubing it. Okay.
Mr. Joey. As long as you live Oh, cripes. Anyway. Yeah,
How did we go from
experience.
pyramids to ass cords? This is ridiculous.
Wow.
Oh dear. Everybody went quiet.
We're watching you.
Well, nobody can chop their soul being pulled out their ass. Thank you.
I told you the reverse abduction is the reverse probing.
Right?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Ranch
Oh
lube.
dear God.
Ooh.
What?
Oh,
Alien.
it's the Hidden Valley.
It's got a Hidden Valley Ranch right up the anus. Yeah, garlic flavored.
Well, I heard ranch goes good with eggplant. Okay.
You use the buttermilk.
Oh my God, guys, stop it!
What?
Let's get back to.
Hey, it ain't
Oh
me
my
tonight
God.
other than the sexy
Oh
dog.
my God. Okay.
Oh.
So pyramids, right? Right.
I don't think we
So is a pyramid a triangular pointy stick?
Sure.
Did we lose
You know
Joe?
what? Time out.
Joe, are you
I'm
still-
bringing it
no,
back.
no.
I'm bringing it back around to the pyramids.
Uh-huh.
What if the pyramids?
I'm just wondering about the pharaohs and whether they had ripcords.
Well, so what are your thoughts on the different appearance of different pharaohs?
Hold on, I have an answer for Joe.
Okay.
So when they died, they pulled them out, and then that's where they stuffed the end of the wrappings.
Toilet paper wrappings.
That tube, they just push it right up there.
Or maybe
with the
that's
end.
what the wrappings are.
Lube?
Holy
Just
shit!
dried lube.
The
Oh
Egyptians
my.
were the first ones to hoard toilet paper in time of crisis.
Using papyrus.
Not really. They're fucking dead. The crisis is over.
So when they
Crisis averted.
Hey, wait. So when they wiped, it came out like hieroglyphics, maybe?
What?
Huh?
Shit cliffs?
Fuck off. They didn't wipe. They just waited till they died.
God.
There was
Oh.
enough toilet paper at that point.
So they filled their cartouches with toilet paper.
Well, they had to get through the 10
They-
plagues of Egypt.
They were the first inventor. They were the first inventors of the bidet. That's why camels spit.
Whoa, no.
Wait, the three seashells.
All they did was use the
Three
Nile.
seashells.
Jesus.
Where the fuck would they get seashells from?
From the
The ocean.
blocks that are made of dead animal carcasses.
Right.
Well, fuck me. Limestone toilet paper? Fuck that shit. That would hurt.
Not if you powdered it down enough.
Right.
Be more like Gold Bond.
Oh god.
Gold Bond. Did I break the group?
Holy
Yeah, I don't know where to go with that.
Oh, so Joe actually said, "I've got nothing." Holy shit! Joe was speechless. I've never.
Nikki, you knocked Joe speechless.
That's unprecedented.
That's actually sad.
You knocked no speechless. You almost killed Rick. I mean, look
You're
at
talking about lube and anal beads and soul beads.
Those
Joe's like,
rejected.
I got nothing.
All right, no, I got it. We're bringing it back to the pyramids here, guys. Okay? What if the pyramids are just some
Sex shame?
giant alien race's butt plug?
That's poorly designed.
Yeah,
Like
dude.
real that's a real bad design.
Why? It's 8-sided.
So when they got up... Oh, wait. So when they got up, that's what took the gold off the top.
Yeah, that's why all the bin stones are
So
gone.
the gold on top of the pyramid was actually a butt plug for the aliens. Oh.
Well, to bring it back around, that civilization didn't start on Earth. Even humans didn't start on Earth. It started on Mars.
Right, we're aliens,
And there could
bro.
have been a civilization there. Say there was a civilization on Mars first.
Mm-hmm.
And they built up their technology. And they said, hey, let's go check out that next planet, just like we're doing. They came over here and they said, this place ain't that bad. And they had a couple of outposts. They had an outpost in Egypt. And they had an outpost in South America and one over in China, all these places that have all these really ancient things. And then something really bad happened on Mars. Who knows, a war or whatever. I mean, if you look at that planet, it looks like it's been bombarded, half of it. Mm-hmm. And they've found places where they were speculating that there were nuclear explosions on Mars.
Mm-hmm.
So that civilization was completely destroyed.
Isn't the sand
And you just got a couple of people, the Martians, here on Earth, us.
Yeah, just like we're planning on doing at Mars.
Our planet just blew up. And like you said, after a couple generations, they're not going to be walking around making iPads and stuff. They're going to go back to sticks and rocks and building huts and all that stuff.
I'm good with that.
Right, but they have the technology in the first place before their battery dies or whatever the hell charges their system to make a couple of pyramids and a few
let's say
outposts.
your electricity goes out and you're
Right.
stuck there in concrete with everybody and there's no electricity, there's no manufacturing. After, your kids as kids, they're not going to know what a computer is or a vehicle. There's not going to be any fuel. Everyone's going to be building huts and log cabins and...
I've already got a hut.
Exactly.
Living on deer and stuff.
Which is exactly what I'm basically saying with the whole recycled earth thing. Is that we were at a high technology, and then we weren't. And then we were, and then we weren't.
That's saying it started here.
Yeah.
When you look
you
at
think if it started here, there would be stuff everywhere we'd be finding. But we only find it in a few places around the planet.
When you look at the
like
stages
outposts,
of civilization,
like somebody who was coming here from Mars.
Okay, so basically, like what we're trying to do to Mars now. So if we sent a colony of people over there, and they were chilling in their little space capsule guys and everything else, building up shit outside to make the atmosphere breathable and all that, right?
Say it is breathable, and they have a couple different colonies around the planet. All of a sudden, Earth blows up.
All of a sudden, the Earth explodes in some way, and they're stuck there for another billion years before they recycle back to Earth. Or some other planet.
We don't know.
Makes sense.
It's all possible.
You okay, Nikki?
Sorry, I just came across one in the chat.
Oh, I've had those nights.
Oh, dear God. Oh, that's a bad movie. But that's a funny scene. Oh, my God. Sorry. I should have muted myself.
Yeah, the fun part, this is my warning system, Nikki.
What?
Nikki's my warning system.
Oh,
she gets to laughing. The Sasquatch will be saying, "Warn Joe," and she's like,
Oh, God.
I'll get to him later.
Oh, shit. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, sorry, guys.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So, as everyone knows, we will not have a show next week. My parents are visiting, so...
it's family time.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We will be back the week after, and we have no idea with what yet.
It's gonna be a surprise.
But
We're just gonna surprise you.
I want to wish everyone a happy Easter.
Alien
Friends.
sex.
Yes. Happy Easter.
Most
Happy
countries
Easter.
celebrate Easter.
Yes.
So. Friend,
Yes, happy Easter.
Happy
And have a
alien.
Good Friday.
Definitely.
Every Friday's good.
That's not really something to celebrate, is it?
Every
What
Friday's
is
a
Good
Good
Friday?
Friday.
Good Friday is like when he died, right?
Saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
It's
sorry.
the Last Supper and then
Okay.
him getting arrested because.
And then like
for
nailed
the
to a
narc.
cross. Okay. So
Friend,
have a somber Good Friday. Is that the way that works?
for
And
me
don't
it is. I
forget-
can't eat
Oh,
any meat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't
Okay.
forget to go.
My bad.
Yeah, Good
Don't-
Friday would be.
Don't forget
I
to
would
go
hope-
check out www.reaperco.com.
Reaper Apparel Co.
ReaperApparelCo.com.
Friend,
For all your Reaper apparel needs.
we're gonna make you a cheat sheet. Friend, and
And use S4 Bunker as your promo code.
for all the listeners of the United
Reaper
States,
Apparel will soon have their new merchandise out with the ripcord shirts.
Yep.
Yes, please, please.
and for when you're done getting that ripcord pulled, friend, make sure you go buy Dairy Queen this month and cool off with a treat because all of their blizzards are only 85 cents for the month.
What?
Wait, are we sponsored by Dairy Queen now?
No,
No! We just
I
got
like
cheap
blizzards.
blizzards!
Damn it.
I like blizzards and friend,
We don't
85
want
cents for a blizzard.
We
Come
don't
on.
want a damn blizzard up here.
Joe doesn't want anything to do with blizzards,
No.
guys!
We don't want one up here.
I wanted a 15-cent blizzard because I'm on the show.
Guys, they're bringing back the s'mores blizzard. Okay.
Ew. I'm sorry, but ew.
That's all you. Enjoy.
Oh, I will.
And
That's
ew.
from the what? The 1990s?
Or for us.
Started that in the 1990s.
Everything's circling back
Yeah,
around.
the 90s.
Blizzard, yeah, and then I think they got rid of it in like 2010 or something. Mm-hmm. So, but
I hate to say it, but I've never had a Dairy Queen blizzard.
really,
Do you
I
even have
haven't
Dairy Queen?
since I think 93 or
We don't have one up here.
Nope.
In all of California, there are no Dairy Queens.
I'm not in all of California. You know how big California is?
Hey, do you know?
it's not that bad. Mexico's taking some of it back, Joe.
Hey,
I forgot to tell you.
Joe, do you know a guy named Bob?
They can have it.
I know a guy named Bob that lives in California. Yeah, are you friends with him?
Oh, yeah, Bob.
Yeah.
Everybody knows fucking
Everybody knows
Bob.
Bob.
Yeah.
What about Bob?
Hey, you know, with your fucking weather, people should now be asking you if you own a polar bear.
Yeah.
Yeah. The ice age is starting in California and moving this way.
Cole's got some plans for an igloo if you need some sent down there, eh?
I'll put some igloo blocks around the bunker.
Okay. You won't run out of ice that way.
Nope.
Robert says, well, at least we don't have cyclones. Yeah, no
Yet.
kidding.
Not yet.
Robert.
No,
Yeah,
not
give
yet.
us time. We'll get them.
Hurricanes.
They're coming. They're coming.
Like,
Oh no, we have tropical storm level shit. Every once in a rare while. I think we've had one. maybe
We're supposed
two.
to get hit again on Saturday. Winter
Yeah.
is never going to end.
So are we. Friday, actually. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll see. At the 2,500 foot level, so it's really not going to impact us, but the rain.
You know, I feel like
I'm tired.
all of a sudden we became Game of Thrones here, and winter came, and it's just not gonna fucking leave. Okay? We're gonna go into like a
Yeah.
20-year
Sitting on top
cycle,
of the wall.
right?
Oh, you mean the flat Earth wall?
No.
No, the wall in Game of Thrones.
Oh,
The ice wall.
the one that Mexico built.
I could totally see you taking
Yeah.
the black. Joe.
Joe the Black.
Oh. Eric the Red.
Did you say Eric the Red?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, before you start naming yourself after this show, you might want to watch it.
Joe Snow.
Oh,
Red Wedding is a little rough.
I wasn't even going by the
Joe
show. Eric,
Joe Snow. Exactly.
When I was a kid, I was called Eric the Red by a neighbor, and that was long fucking before Game of Thrones came out. Just saying.
Eric the Red.
Yeah. Viking.
Like Viking status?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was like
I was
back in
God.
the 70s. I don't
There's
think
an
we
Eric
had Game of
Red.
Thrones out in the 70s.
In which? Where is there an Eric the Red, Eric? Or not Eric.
Rick.
Rick?
Oh, no, I did not know there was an Eric Red in Game of Thrones because
There isn't.
There
There
is.
isn't.
There is.
on Game of Thrones. So oh wait, yeah, I'm sorry. Is that blasphemy that I have no idea what?
No, the red, but anything the red after the point of like season 4 would not be a good thing to name yourself after.
Well,
Yeah.
I haven't seen
Well,
Game of
you know,
Thrones at
I gotta
all,
be
so
honest.
I'm behind the times.
Okay,
I don't watch TV a whole lot.
if we all had Viking names, what would our Viking names be?
I'm pretty sure his would still be fucking Eric.
Yeah, he'd be Eric.
Eric the Red.
Eric the Red.
Thorn Oakenshield.
Okay.
She said
Rick
Viking,
Gimpy.
not Middle fucking Earth.
Okay, seriously.
God.
Ran.
I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Rick the Shaky. Yeah.
Cole Thunderheart.
You went like totally native on that one. That was
Oh,
fucked
okay.
up.
Cole Icebreaker.
Nikki
Cole
of the Soul
Barbarian.
Splitter.
Oh,
Soul Splitter?
I have no idea.
Skull Splitter.
no, if anybody would be a soul splitter,
I-
it would be Nikki.
That's just what I was gonna say
Skull.
because I've
Skull.
actually,
Skull.
I've actually,
Oh,
creamy.
okay.
Oh,
Oh, skull
okay,
splitter.
okay.
Just depends between your cheek and gums.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's almost Christmas, isn't it?
What?
What?
I don't know. The snow's coming again.
It's almost
No.
Christmas.
During
Yeah.
Christmas, it's going to be 85 and sunny as fuck, and we're all going to be half dead sweating over here by a pine tree.
Yeah,
Okay?
there's that.
Baseball season
Hey, we'll
starts
become
tomorrow. It should not be snowing still
Does it?
anywhere in the continental
No.
United States.
I thought
my
baseball
God.
season didn't start till the 1st.
Yeah, what is this weather going to do to our sports programs? This is just ridiculous.
Well, I'm worried
They'll
about
be
it.
playing football in the snow,
I'm not worried about it. The Raiders play indoors.
and they'll have to go.
Ain't anymore.
No, I'm actually being serious here.
They'll have to go to field hockey.
If the weather patterns totally did a 360, okay? If they completely changed, so your winter is now your summer is now your winter, all this crap, right?
We'll be caught up with
Then
Australia.
Right.
would they change the seasons for all the sports?
very good question. Would we even have sports?
Well, you would not have baseball because unless it was all in a dome.
It would all
No,
Yeah,
be
you
in a
can't
dome.
have that. Now football. They play football. They don't care if it rains, snows,
Right.
hails, lightning. The
Right.
game doesn't stop.
No.
no, Nikki.
And
Our sports would be. You ever seen the movie Death Race? That would be the new sport.
That's 1980s. Yes.
No, Death Race
No,
was
so
2000s.
Oh, no, the original.
Huh? Oh,
There's
The
the
okay.
original one.
Yeah, I didn't know there was an original. I'm talking about
Yeah,
the one
no.
with
There's an original Death Race. I believe it had Keith Carradine. He played a character named Frankenstein.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
John.
No, I'm talking about the newer version.
Yeah, they remade it in the early
Sylvester
2000s.
Stallone.
Yeah, and that's got Vin Diesel.
Yes.
Yes, the
It's-
new one
Yeah,
has
they called
Vin
it
Diesel.
Death
Yeah.
Race 3000 after.
Okay.
Mhm.
But yeah, that'll be the new sports, along with the Purge
And the Hunger
No, I don't
Games.
think you get
and
rid
the
of
Hunger
them that
Games.
easy.
Yeah.
Well, if the weather changes drastically, you know what it's going to be? It's going to be Mad Max. I'm ready for
Yeah.
it. I keep bringing it up.
Yeah.
Wasn't that supposed to be last year?
Yeah.
Isn't it also
Well,
supposed to be in?
maybe it's starting somewhere.
I know. This year, the one notable thing we've had for movies so far is you remember the really bad kid from The Breakfast Club?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He finished
Judd,
his last.
Judd Hirsch?
He finished his last detention.
I know.
This
Judd
month.
Nelson.
Yeah. He has done his detention.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
Right.
Oh yeah, because did he have like 20 years of detention or some
Yeah.
shit?
Yes.
Eric, are you talking? Oh God, you talking this one?
Oh, that's Jason Statham one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the newer
It's a
one.
remake.
That's the new one.
That's the remake. Yep.
Right. All right,
Not
guys.
seen it.
We're all hoping it's more like Tron and we end up doing Death Race instead. No thanks.
Everybody have a great time over the next 2 weeks, and we will see you.
Yes.
Not this Wednesday coming up, but the next Wednesday after.
Yes, happy Easter, everybody.
Yes.
Yes. Happy Easter.
Right.
And stay safe.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Stick on the ice.
Yeah, and remember, if the chocolates aren't wrapped that you find on the ground, they're probably not chocolate. Joe.
And if it does continue to snow there, Joe, you can always go to www.reaperapparelco.com and put in the promotion code S4 Bunker for all your sweatshirt needs.
Oh, not just sweatshirts, we got everything.
All right,
If it
people,
keeps
good
snowing
night.
here, I might do that.
Perfect.
Good night,
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.
Data transfer complete. System malfunction. Please evacuate immediately. Program terminated.
Son of a biscuit eater.